Welcome to another important section. We have come across email addresses a few times already, but what exactly can we do with these? First off, we could try to verify if the email address is real. The reason why we start off with this is that we don't end up wasting time trying to find apps and people associated with an email address if it was fake to begin with. So to verify an email address, we usually go to emailrep.io. This website will not only verify the email address, but print us some additional information about it. We will now see a test query I run, but with the email address hidden. In this example, we get an information that the email address is risky as it has not been observed on the internet. It also has no profiles on major services such as Facebook, LinkedIn, or iCloud. Then, below that, we get more information we can use. And these are reputation, meaning how likely is the email to be real, suspicious, meaning if it has been found in any spam databases, then blacklisted means if it's blocked by spam lists, malicious activity if it has a known history of phishing activity, then the recent phishing activity if its password has been in any data breaches, then we get data breach, which means if the email was mentioned in any of the data breaches. Then the next important one is days since domain creation, meaning when the domain the email is registered at was created. Here in this case it's Gmail, so it was created a long time ago. However, sometimes for a purpose of a phishing or other malicious activity, the bad actor might set up a new one. The next two important fields are free provider and disposable. Free provider meaning if the email provider, which is Google in this case, is paid or rather free. The next one is disposable, which is the kind of 10-minute mail we might use for some websites which we don't want to share our personal email address with. And then at the very bottom, we might get some profiles that are associated with the email. However, from our experience, it only works with the bigger sites and we use some other tools for this purpose. Now the question, do we know that it is their only email address? The first thing you want to try is checking the same name but using other domains. This means if our suspect's initial email address was test123@gmail.com, then now we will check test123@outlook.com, then at protonmail.com, then at gmx.com, at yahoo.com, and maybe at hotmail.com. It primarily depends on where your target is located. If let's say in Germany, then you'll try Gmail and GMX to begin with, as I know these are popular over there. The next variation you might want to try comes before @domain.com. In one of the previous steps, you might have found the suspect's social media account or account on a website. By their username, you might be able to identify their additional email addresses. So let's say their email address was samtaylor@gmail.com, but their Instagram account was taylorsam0, then you'll try verifying email addresses such as taylorsam@domain.com, taylorsam0@domain.com, samtaylor0@domain.com, and so on and so on. While we are at enumerating email address names, I want to introduce you to one more tool. You can find it under email-format.com. It is like a dictionary of email address domains we can use to investigate someone. Let's say we found our suspect's resume and we know that he is or was a student at Coventry University. So we'll go to the search bar in the right upper corner. And now we'll type in Coventry. I'll hit enter. And we can see all the domains that contain Coventry in their names. Now, for example, we'll go with the first one that pops up, which is coventry.ac.uk. I'll click on it. The editor will have to blur out the email addresses we see here, but if you go to any other domain, you should see what the identified email addresses there are. And if you click on identified name formats, it should show you how the formats usually look like. Is it the name first or the family name first, followed by the letter of the first name or anything like that? Alright, by now you should have a clue how you can verify and locate your target's email address. So if we think about the Taylor Sam example, we could try first and the last name, so taylorsam@coventry.ac.uk. Then we could try first initial and then the last name, so tsam@coventry.ac.com, and so on and so on. Alright, so by now you should have a clue how you can enumerate and verify your target's email addresses. And we will see you in the next lecture where we discover accounts associated with those email addresses. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome back. Let's talk about email associated accounts. Now, the tool that we're going to use for this is going to be EPIEOS. Now, I have no clue how to pronounce it, but let me just type it right here so you can all visit the same website. This is the tool, and this is the website. As it says, it mentions that this is the ultimate OSINT tool. However, it does require us to pay. But we do get good amount of results with the free option. So let's check it out. I'll click on it. And it's a simple website. We can either search by email or by phone. It is the ultimate OSINT tool for email and phone reverse lookup. So let's take a look at what happens once we type a random email. So I will type test123@gmail.com. I will accept the terms and I will click on search. So it will ask us to do the captcha. So select the things that can fit inside of this. Well, this, this, and this. Let's click on next, do it again, and verify. Now it will search for the information regarding that email, and here are the results. So it says that this tool will also find email addresses that were leaked in data breaches. We get the email address, and it was found in 259 data breaches. Here we can see all of the leaks that it was found in. But this is not the only information that we get. If we scroll all the way down, we can see that some of the results are locked due to this being a paid tool that we're using for free at the moment. And if I scroll all the way down, it will go over certain websites, and this tool will allow you to find whether the email address that you search for is linked to any account on these websites. So if you scroll all the way down, you can see all of the results. Some of the results are blurred and some are not. If you were to get this tool with a paid version, you would unblur all of the results. Alright, so another thing that this tool has as an option is to search via phone number as well. So you can also use a phone number to perform this type of lookup, and it will check whether a phone number is linked to any accounts. Alright, as you can see, this tool gets you lots of valuable results that you can use for your investigation. For example, if you were investigating an email address, you can figure out what websites is this email address linked to. And once you scroll back up, you can also see that you can download all of this valuable information in a single report by clicking on here and choosing your format. So either JSON or CSV. Alright, so hopefully by now you have identified some of the services that the target might use. And in the next lecture, we will try to identify more accounts that they might have, and in case they did have their credentials or emails breached, like for example this email that is breached in 259 breaches, we will try to hunt the passwords of those breaches. But that's it for this lecture. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Welcome back. In this lecture, we'll introduce you to a couple tools that help us search business-oriented email addresses. This is convenient when we know someone worked in a particular company, but the techniques from the last lecture failed to yield results. Additionally, we have used these tools for searching leads in the past, and it helped us identify email addresses of businesses we were to approach. This means if you are on the sales team or a business owner, you want to keep watching till the end. So for this purpose, we usually have two go-for tools. The first one is hunter.io, the one you're seeing right now. It requires you to set up a free account, and depending if it flags you, it might need you to verify your phone number. Then once logged in, we are presented with this search tool. However, if it redirects you to any other page, you just click on the search in the left upper corner. Now we are presented with domain, search and a search bar and also a few recent searches. Here we can either straight up type in the company name or we can set custom filters. For example, if the company we are searching for is rather big, then we can set the results to only show HR department. So I'll click on filters and now we can do department and let's do, for example, sales. Now in order to apply it, you need to click at the apply filters at the bottom and it has been applied. Now, what do we do? Let's for this example just do Google. So I'll type in Google, but here we get a few different kind of Googles. We get google.com, .de, from Japan, the UK and Italy. So I'll just go with the first one and now we are presented with just 59 results. We get the names, we get their email addresses and we get the score and we get where it has been found. So if you click on sources, you can see, let me just close this, you can see where exactly they took this email from. Now what else is convenient with hunter.io? On the right side you can see the company name and some information about it. Then we can see the email pattern. And for Google, what it says is that it's the first name, last name followed by the domain, which is google.com. Then here we can see if it accepts all emails or the emails go somewhere else. If you just click it, we check if the email server is configured to accept all emails sent to the domain. Then we don't know if they get flagged as spam or anything, but we know that they accept emails. Then we get the industry, which is here software development, the headcount, and their address. Once again, this is very useful, for example, when you failed to find the email pattern with the previous tool. Here you can find examples of the email and you can see the email pattern too, as well as some additional information. Once again, very useful for leads, for business purposes, but also for verifying our target's email addresses. And in a case where Hunter.io yields no results, we have the other tool, which is skymeme.info. Here, we don't need an account and the process is rather simple because we just type in the company we are interested in. So let's do a space X and then you click on find email addresses. If we scroll down to the second page, we can see that at spacex.com at the domain, we get 611 emails. First of all, it's behind a paywall and we are only limited to 15 preview email addresses. So if you click on more emails, you can see the last 5 and if you click on one, you can see the first 10. If you want to see emails related to an email address, you can click, for example, at this one and we get this one highlighted and then some more affiliated ones. There are some other tools for this task, but usually behind a paywall, and these two are the most accurate ones. Alright, so I encourage you to go try it out, and I'll see you in the next lecture where we perform some exciting password hunting. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back. Now, what if you are assigned to go and check whether whoever employed you has their passwords breached? It could also be just you being curious whether someone got a hold of your credentials. Now, there are a few ways to figure this stuff out. The first and most simple is good old Have I Been Pwned website. Now, to go to that website, we can type Have I Been, and we can see the first result, Have I Been PWNED. This is the website, and if we click on it, it will open this search bar where we can enter the email address which we want to check whether it was in any existent data breach. So let's type test123@gmail.com. Just an example. Click enter or click on this and we can see that it actually was in data breaches. Now, since this is probably someone's email address and we can see right here it was present in over 200 data breaches. However, it doesn't mean that the email credentials were breached, but rather if someone used this email address to set up an account, this account's credentials were breached. This doesn't mean that the actual password to this email was breached. Now, if you now run a query of your own email address, you really shouldn't get more than a few, and keep in mind, even if it's one, then you definitely should change your password and enable multi-factor authentication on the platform where it was breached. Now, if we scroll down, they list us all the breaches that they are aware of and give us a brief description of each one of them. It doesn't guarantee us that an account associated with this email address wasn't present in any other breaches, but from our experience, they are more or less up to date with their database, so it's a good place to go in the first place. Now, what if your target email address is present in a data breach? Well, we have a few options. The first one is breachdirectory.org. Now it says that currently site is under the maintenance, but we can just click on X. And this website offers a unique approach as the passwords displayed are partially censored. So this can pretty much help you to figure out whether the password is accurate and whether it matches a password that you know of. So let's do a quick test query on test123@gmail.com. I will select I'm human. Hopefully. Now you will notice that the site is a little bit slow, then it might be due to its maintenance, and it says please click on the thing that does not repeat. So it's the wolf. Let's select it, click on next. And it's once again, please click on the thing that does not repeat, and it should be wolf once again. And I can just click on verify. Now we should get the results. As you can see, after a few seconds, we do get 842 passwords found. And we're going to get the censored version of the passwords as well as their hashes. So we will get first 5 characters of the passwords visible, while the rest of the password will not be visible. And we also get a list of all the data breaches down here, similar to the previous website that we showed. Now, if you're a part of a bigger organization that would be interested in automating this stuff, then you can go with the API of this website. And lastly, there is a tool which might be better than both of these that we discussed, but we left it for the end as it is one of the paid tools. The tool is called Dehashed, and you can find it under dehashed.com. Alright? It pretty much lets us search up things like emails, passwords, IP addresses, usernames, phone numbers, and other things as well. You already know how to search some of these, but what makes it very convenient is that with this tool, we can link particular pieces of data to build a profile on our suspect. Now here, if you were to search an email address, it will ask you to make an account first, but then you will get the hashes of passwords this user has used and that were breached, so similar to the previous website. So what exactly would we do with these hashes? Well, there are a couple of options. The first one is to copy it and look it up. If it's a simple hash or a common hash, it will display somewhere in the Google results the actual plaintext password of the hash. Now, you can also use a tool like Hashcat or John the Ripper to crack the hash with a list of passwords. So you get a list of plaintext passwords, you use a hash cracking tool, which might be too advanced for this course, but if you're interested, there are videos out there that show how this is done. So if you're serious about doing OSINT, you might want to consider using one of the tools that we mentioned, as it really makes it convenient to enumerate a certain email address to get its breached passwords in plain text and to see which breaches the email was in. Alright, so that would be about it for email and password hunting. Good luck, and I will see you in the next lecture.